Joel, TRU Precious Metals is involved in what's been called a gold rush in central Newfoundland. What's unique about your property, especially as it relates to your neighbors there?
Well, Newfoundland's a great jurisdiction in which to explore. It's a first world jurisdiction. It has great infrastructure, access to skilled labor. It's a great place in which to explore. It's also politically stable, which is helpful when you're trying to amass a land position. And in terms of our property, what's even better is it's right within this gold belt in central Newfoundland between two significant gold deposits. On the one hand, we have Matador Mining, who has 840,000 ounces of gold. They're directly to the southwest of us. And on the other side, to the northeast of us, is Marathon Gold, who has over 4 million ounces, and they continue to expand their resource through ongoing drilling. So if you liken this to being in a great neighborhood, we're not only in a good neighborhood, we're on the best street in the neighborhood between the two largest houses. Ideal place to explore for gold.
So the flagship project is the Golden Rose. You've started drilling there. What are the timelines we're looking at there in terms of expectations and drilling results coming out?
We're in the middle of drilling, and we'll be doing it throughout Q4 of 2021. It's a 5,000 meter drill program, and it's centered on two areas. One, where there's already gold in the ground, called the Southwoods Lake Zone, and our expectation there would be to infill what's already been done so as to get a better handle on what's under the ground there and ideally expand it. We would be looking for results that are similar to our neighbors on either side. There's a second area we'll be drilling called the King George IV, which is where our team discovered visible gold at surface. And that's where we'll be aiming to make a new discovery and ideally find the source of this gold under the ground. In terms of timelines, the drilling, as I mentioned, is through Q4. And so we'll be looking to roll out results. If we're lucky, we'll get a few before the end of the year, but most likely the bulk of results will follow throughout Q1 2022. So it's a good ongoing source of news flow.
Now, Eric Sprott on the finance side, as we know, invests in many different precious metals companies, but he doesn't just throw money at the wall. He's got a team behind him and he's strategic. And so he has a fair-sized position in TRU Precious Metals. What appeals to him, do you think, about the prospects?
He's our largest shareholder with a 13% stake roughly. We have a good team, we have a good cap structure, we're well capitalized. Those are all nice starting points, but what it really comes down to is the unique location of our Golden Rose project. That's really real estate and geology you can't just replicate anywhere. And so that's a uniquely positioned asset that appealed to someone like Sprott who knows where to look for the precious metals.
You've said that as co-founder and CEO, you want to run a quote-unquote clean game and be clear with the market in terms of your strategy. So what do you mean by that, and how do you do that?
Interestingly, the clean game part is almost the easier part. Certainly, we comply with laws, stock exchange policies, and on the disclosure front, we want to make sure we keep the market apprised of what's going on, good and sometimes bad. And so we are more frequent, I think, and more transparent in our disclosure than a lot of junior companies. But I think it's key for us to set out strategy like we did in mid-October 2020 and in mid-June 2021 when we put out strategy press releases, then subsequently executed on what we said in our press releases. And I think what's important about that is very few junior companies would issue guidance to the market. We cannot make there be gold in the ground, but we can set ourselves up as best as possible to hit whatever might be there. And that's, to me, is the point of putting out strategy and then showing that we at least deliver on what's within our control.
Your background and expertise is in transactional law. So how does that experience help you evaluate possible M&A options for TRU Precious?
Well, we are very transactionally oriented at Explorco, I can tell you that. We rattled off 5 property acquisitions in 5 months between September of 2020 and January of this year, 2021. In May, once we started exploration on properties, we also did a series of property transaction option agreements, purchases, and staking to more than double the size of our Golden Rose project. And so when the time comes to either evaluate corporate M&A or additional property transactions that make sense for our company and that we think would build shareholder value, we're well positioned based on our track record to source, negotiate, execute, and most importantly, close on mergers and acquisitions.
Joel, you said that TRU Precious Metals is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Why do you say that, and what's the key to delivering and executing on your plan?
The once-in-a-lifetime is because you only see so many gold rushes nowadays, or frankly, mineral boom rushes anywhere. Newfoundland's a great jurisdiction in which to explore, and we're right in the middle of it, both figuratively and geographically in terms of being, as I mentioned, ideally positioned with our flagship property, Golden Rose. In terms of executing and delivering, the key for us right now is focus on drilling at Golden Rose, set ourselves up to better expand the known gold zone that's already on the property, the Southwoods Lake Gold Zone, and also aim for a discovery at a new area of the property called the King George IV, where there's gold at surface. So it's up to us to, again, set up systematically to do a well-run drill program, see what's under the ground in these two areas, and take it from there.